Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Sammy, United People's TV. It's Monday. We're here to kick off another week. And, of course, United are playing tonight. The long wait is over. 13 days, however long it's been since bloody West Ham. Anyway, we're going to run through the Everton game. I've already done my starting 11. That went out on Saturday. We can have a conversation about it today. And any more team news ahead of the game tonight. We will speak about all the weekend's results. More drop points all around us. The top four race is not just open. It's United's to grab, really. We'll talk about the main talking points from the weekend. Run through the latest United news. As always, speak about latest on Maguire contract, a new head of academy recruitment. We'll speak about the academy, speak about Gabriel, speak about Michael Carrick. How were all of your weekends? What did you get up to? Anybody got any good stories, fun stories? Let me know in the chat. Let's get on with it. Mate, it's a long old wait. But another opportunity knocks. And it feels like I've been saying that most weekends. Well, most Mondays anyway. Sometimes you take advantage of it. Carrick has been so far. Let's see down here. Carl, indeed, the usual suspects are lurking. Good morning to you, Carl. Nice to see you there. Josh, you're there too. Stephanie. We've got Alex. Good morning to you. Maddie, good morning to you as well. We've got Jace. We've got Smee. Rob Brennan. We've got Eyeball Fizzo. Got Chris Dyke. Some non-members as well. We've got Fat666. We've got John Edmund. Teclon. We've got Jamie Jersey. Good morning to all of you. Thank you very much, dude. I'm really happy with how the studio looks. That's the Hill Dickinson there. That's where we're playing tonight. So I thought I'd pop that up on screen. I'm really happy. It's been a lot of work, but we're getting here. And can I just say, with the community wall, I asked you if you could start sending in some programs for me, because I thought it would be a really good way to fill the wall up. And can I just say to Eamon, this is awesome, right? I'm not going to show you all of them because I'll keep some for the screen. But look at this one here. That's the one I've already showed you that you sent me before. From 1994, official program of United against City. But look at these. This one's from 92. United against QPR. United, look at it. Look at the price of the program. 80p. United against Liverpool. From, can you see the date? The 31st of October, 1990. And look at this one there. This one's class. The Community Shield program from 1983 from Wembley. Eamon, you're an absolute legend for sending these in. I will get these up. But yeah, if anybody else has any more, I'm trying to fill this whole wall. And you can't see it here, but I'll be able to share photos with you and maybe take you on a full studio tour when we've got it completed. There's another 2 full rows, the length of that one, that we can fill. Awesome. Big up to all of you. Anyway, should we get on with today's show? Let's get the poll up straight away. I think I might know what the answer is going to be, right? But we'll see anyway. Start the poll. What's your prediction for tonight? What's your prediction for tonight? Right. Everton win. Get in the bin. Everton win. My mind is working at Monday morning speed, by the way, so I apologise about that. Draw and United win. Will we see... I can see someone down there talking about Šeško. Will we see Šeško start? What other changes will we make? Is Maguire going to be fit to play? Don't quite know. But I'm looking forward to it. Let's run through what happened at the weekend. There's a couple of things not directly related to United, but puts a smile on your face. Anybody see what Mata did at the weekend? He was playing in the Melbourne Derby, scored from like 45 yards, keeper was off his line, unreal goal, and then scored a second banger as well from outside the box. Scored both. Mate, Mata. I'd love to do a little... Feels like we could, like a little mini documentary on Mata. I told you they're coming back in earnest, and we are. The productions are really going to be cranked back into gear. I'd love to do one on Mata. That would be a cool thing to do. I always feel like Mata kind of never really got played in his exact position where he should have got played. Remember when he... For a little quiz question. How did Mata arrive at Carrington when he signed for us in January under David Moyes? You're not going to win a prize. I just remember it. I swear he rocked up in a suit as well. I think he did. Can't quite remember that bit. Come on, somebody must remember that. And then we'll get on and we'll talk about the weekend's results. I'm just running through these things first. What did he arrive in? Come on, people. Yes, Jace, you got it first. It was a helicopter. I remember that. Why is it that he arrived at a chopper? I can't remember that. Was it just the fact that it was, I don't know, it was done quickly. Sod knows. Anyway, he arrived at Carrington in a helicopter. Right, enough about why matter. Should we talk about the weekend's results? And there are quite a few talking points here. First things first, boom, straight in. Villa dropping points against Leeds at home. Chelsea dropping points, a last-minute equaliser for Burnley. Both Chelsea and Villa around us in the league dropping points. And I tell you what, I'm going to speak about the Arsenal game in a bit, but mate, Liverpool. They scabbed their way to that. I mean, Kevin Carrick was calling one of the biggest robberies you'll ever see in the Premier League. Awful football team they are. Really. I don't know how in the world they managed to spend that much money. And anyway, they've managed to scab themselves 3 points. Really quite annoying because that could have been more drop points. And the biggest game of the weekend was obviously this one. Mate. You know how last season I was very adamant in this. I know that fans of other clubs liked to point and laugh at where United were in the league and tried to suggest that we were in a relegation battle. We never were. I know that we were crap last season, but we never were. Truthfully, Spurs are in a relegation battle. It's probably going to be one of Spurs, Forest, or West Ham that go down. It's going to be Burnley and Wolves, the bottom two. That third team, Spurs are right in that mix. Got absolutely slapped up. Imagine being a Spurs fan and Eze. That he was going to sign for them and then flipped it, moved to Arsenal, and is now third in the all-time scorers list of Arsenal players in North London derbies after 2 of them. Anyway, it's nice to see Spurs that you built on winning that Europa League final and you used that to build momentum. Well done, lads. Anyway, be a real shame if they get relegated. Who would I choose to get relegated? Yeah, I probably would choose Spurs to get relegated after what happened last year. Anyway, that's what the weekend's results have done to the league. And you can see United going into tonight against Everton. Is it an easy game? No. Is there an easy game in the Premier League? No. Maybe Wolves away. That was way too easy. Wolves at home, different story. We go 3 points? 3 points behind Villa in third. If we can win against Everton tonight. What more do you want? This top... It's not... Is it a top 4 race? I know they like calling it a top 4 race, but it's not really. It's a 3-4. 3 of those positions are going to get Champions League football. Only one of those 4 teams is going to miss out on Champions League football this season. And it should not be Manchester United. The opportunities are just, as I said, most weekends this season in the Premier League, an opportunity is knocked. There is no Jack Grealish tonight. Obviously, Iliman Ndiaye, he's going to be their danger man. But we've been playing well. We've been defending well. You know, it counts for nothing if you go and then concede in the first 15 minutes away from home against Everton because you know exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, Carl, I've said this as well. You look at those games, we play all 3 of them. We play Villa at home quite soon. We play Chelsea away, I think, in April. And I think we play Liverpool at home. Is that at the start of May? Let's quickly get those fixtures up again. I think I looked at this last week, but I keep forgetting. They are the definitions of 6-pointers. Fixtures. So we play Villa at home on the 15th of March. My birthday is the 13th of March. Just, if anybody wants to send all loads of presents. Well, I know you're not going to send anything. But anyway, it's a great day. 13th of March. So we play them on the 13th of March. Then we play Chelsea away on the 18th of April. And that one down there. Is that the third? How many games we got after that? 3 more. Oh, Sunderland away after that. That is going to be a tasty, tasty fixture against Liverpool. But right now, it's all in our hands. At this moment in time, you know, sometimes it happens in like top four races. You kind of got to rely on other teams to see what results they get. Nah, completely in Manchester United's not grasp, just up to us. Let me see what you're saying down here. Danny, you're saying, isn't it 4 for the Champions League? Now, typically it is 4 for the Champions League, but because English teams have been doing well in European competitions, we're top of the coefficient. Last season, 5 teams got into the Champions League from England. This season, 5 teams are going to get into the Champions League again. Typically, it's traditionally the top 4, but it's the top 5 this season, just like it was last season. But 3 games against those will decide the Champions League football. I mean, possibly. But not really. Because if you go and lose against Everton, you go and lose against, I don't know, who else are you playing? God knows. Other teams, then these ones won't matter as much. John, you're saying we've got to win, mate. We have to win today. We really, really do. It's not. I suppose it's not a need. I would just prefer that United weren't chasing. I would just prefer that United were being chased. It's been a long time since that's really happened. We've always been looking upwards, haven't we? Can we get there? Can we take advantage of this? Can we do that? No, how about we just get to 3rd, we knock Villa off it, and we just hold it. Looking forward to it tonight. It's going to be a good game. Good morning to you, Shax, man. Love how all of you are just still so generous in this channel. Can't wait to announce what... I know, you must feel like I'm lying at this point. But I want to announce what the next phase of United People's TV is in terms of the productions, in terms of the content that I want to do, and sort of flipping the script a little bit. Right, let's run through all the other latest United news, and then we'll talk about Everton in a bit more detail in a preview. So, last week I did a video on JJ Gabriel because I felt it was the right time to give an update video on him. You know, we did a video, I think we've done 3 on him this season now. We did one in July. Then we did one, I think, in December time-ish. And then a follow-up here. What's he done since? Well, under-18s played at the weekend. And JJ Gabriel banged in 2 more. He must be like... Who's the top scorers in the under-18s Premier League? He's got to be up there. Under-18s Premier League top scorers. I don't know who actually keeps the top. Oh, maybe not quite. No, never mind. They are some top, quite a lot of higher scorers in there. Anyway, JJ Gabriel banged in another 2. Who was there standing at the sidelines? Yes, it was Michael Carrick and Steve Holland. And I feel like I want to do like a little video on this. Probably at some point. Carrick is certainly treating the academy with full attention. You know, sometimes you can get a little bit of lip service. I mean, you know, we've had we've had an academy product in every matchday squad since like 1937. The academy is the heart of Manchester United, the root. Yeah, I know that. But Carrick has been to, well, he was at Oxford last week for the FA Youth Cup, that 320-mile round trip. He's there at Carrington watching the under-18s, and JJ Gabriel again. He's following up. I think it's probably partly because his son has been in United's academy, and he was speaking about it in his press conference ahead of Everton tonight. Sort of like, as a parent, I think the academy is in an extremely good condition. And as a manager, he's really showing a damn good example, as is this lad. And this is why I did the video on him, because it's really not normal. Now, I'm so conscious that I don't want to overhype this lad. But it's just not normal. He's 15. 15-year-olds don't typically do what 15-year-old JJ Gabriel is doing with the under-18s. Your year's physically underdeveloped. You should be getting pushed around. He's an anomaly in that sense. And that's what I mean by it's not normal. He scored another 2 goals. And did you see that first goal that he scored? On his left peg, from the tightest of angles. It almost looks in line with the 6-yard line. Fired it in, crossbar and in. Second one was a calm penalty. The trajectory that this lad has put himself on this season with the under-18s is extremely impressive. Freakishly impressive, really. So it's going to be very interesting to watch what United do with him over, I suppose, the course of the next... Hey, look, Martinez at Anfield. That's a really good comparison, Jace. I like that. That was a cracking finish. I went mental when that went in. It's going to be really interesting watching how United handle his development, because the speed at which he's done it this season, he will have his eye on becoming the youngest ever debutant in the Premier League era for Manchester United, ahead of Angel Gomez, who I think did it. Well, I spoke about it. He did this at age 16 and 293 days or something like that. Towards the end of the season, when Angel Gomez came on for Wayne Rooney. Now, JJ is 16, I think, in October. He's basically a shoo-in to be involved in a pre-season tour, wherever that may be. He'll get his opportunities there. Question I can ask, I don't know whether any of you know the answer to this. Now, if I remember correctly, the reason that he's not eligible to play in the Premier League this season because he wasn't registered before was that because he wasn't old enough, or because of a certain date? I can't remember that. So he won't even be 16 by the time the next Premier League season starts. Does that mean he can't be registered? I don't know how it works. Like, how old was Max Dowman when he made his debut for Arsenal? I swear he was 15, wasn't he? I don't know. A6 is saying Carrick has been carrying himself like he already has the role. Carrick is carrying himself like a man who really, really wants to do everything to make sure he can get that role. He can see the opportunity in front of himself, and he wants to maximize. I'm not saying that just purely from a cynical perspective. I like to think that this would be something that continued if he was to get the job on a full-time basis. But he's certainly doing everything. He's making all the right noises and all the right impressions. And he was speaking in his press conference. He goes, I remember when I was a youngster at West Ham, and was it Frank Lampard? No, Harry Redknapp Sr.? I think it was assistant. Was it Frank Lampard? Oh, sod knows. Anyway, West Ham's assistant manager at the time came up to watch him play, and he remembered it. He goes, I'll always remember that because it made an impact on me at that age, and he wants to have that sort of impact on other players too. Anyway, JJ Gabriel. Yeah, I thought Darwin was 15. I'll look into that a little bit more, into the exact reasons behind the restrictions. But as it stands, you probably put him down to become United's youngest ever debutant in the modern era. I think it was David Gaskell, who was like 16 years and like 11 days when he made his debut for United in goal, way back when. So I don't think he's going to become the youngest ever, but certainly youngest ever in the Premier League era. That's what it's looking like right now. And from academy perspective, I might do a little short video on Connor Hunter. But basically what's happened is Luke Fedorenko was United's sort of head of academy recruitment. He then left the club, and the club has been trying to replace him since. I think it was Paul Midgley we were going to be getting from Newcastle. We were in talks with him to bring him over. He ended up staying there. So what United have done is promoted Connor Hunter from national scouting manager, internal promotion. He's going to be our new head of academy recruitment. So his job is going to be find us the next JJ Gabriel. Find us the next 14, 15, 16. No, JJ Gabriel's bloody 15. It goes to show how academy recruitment just must get harder and harder and harder to nail, if you know what I mean. Like, just younger players, more frequently, the talent level is so much better. I don't know whether it's like access to better facilities, access to better coaches. It must be that a lot of players get more professional at a younger age. I'm trying to think of like why it is, but it certainly feels like it. There's a lot. Like Wayne Rooney stood out as an anomaly as a 16-year-old because he was just like, wow, there's only one of him. I'm not saying that there's multiple players like that now, but it just feels like the talent base level has gone up a few notches. Alex, I'm pretty sure that Connor Hunter there will be reporting into Stephen Torpey. He's our head of academy. He replaced Nick Cox. I don't think Chris Vavell... I suppose Chris Vavell would be involved in that. It would be a bit strange if Manchester United's overall head of recruitment didn't speak to the head of academy recruitment. But also, these are just the different levels of signings. How can we find the next JJ Gabriel before he is the next JJ Gabriel? I'm about to say that. He hasn't even bloody made his debut, but you know what I mean? That sort of level of talent that stands out like a unicorn in the academy system. Right, that's going to be down to Connor Hunter. What about those players like Aiden Heaven or Chido Obi? Players that are kind of on the fringes and like being pushed. They've been trained through the first 2-3 years in academies, but maybe they're ready for first team football. Let's take them. Boom. That's probably going to be more Chris Vavell. And then finding your next Caicedo or next Believer before they cost 70 and 100 mil. That goes towards Chris Vavell. And also signing the top level players like Cunhas and Yuran Bumos. You don't really need to scout them, I suppose. Different levels of recruitment. An updated org chart video. That's not a bad idea. If anybody does have some nice ideas, you know something I always try and do my best on. It's really bloody hard. It's like doing as much research and planning into what stories and what things would United fans like to know more about. If you ever have those, like, please email them across. Because I just want to pull like a list of video ideas together that I can then dip into sometimes. Like, this would be the right time for that. Let's bring that out. And we're also doing it across shorts and stuff. Right, let's speak about the game itself though, eh? I'm going to go to the poll and see what you're saying first. Because we've got nearly 700 votes are in. 84% of you are going for a United win today. Would I be as confident as 84% of you? My prediction for this game was a 2-1 win. What sort of match do you think you're going to be seeing tonight? All right, get your predictions in that sense. I would just be amazed if Everton didn't approach the game in the same way that West Ham approached the game. Obviously, the game at Old Trafford was a bit different. Dewsbury Hall scored a worldie, not going to be scoring that again. They were down to 10 men, and Everton just defended their box diligently. You saw like Grealish and Ndiaye like tucking in. We couldn't get anywhere near them. I'm a bit worried about that tonight, I'll be honest, because we had that same sort of game style against West Ham and we did struggle. And we know what sort of changed it. I think that's the big question tonight, isn't it? Will Šeško start? I think Šeško needs to start. I think it's the smart decision to start Šeško tonight. If you looked at how that game changed against West Ham, it was kind of when Šeško came on and United were actually throwing some balls into the box. Now, it might be slightly difficult considering you've got Tarkowski and you've got Branthwaite, two massive physical centre-backs. So Everton might actually quite like it if you do balls into the box and just float balls in. So maybe don't go for the floating balls. Get Šeško to run across the front man. Early whipped crosses. Deeper crosses to the back post. Get Šeško lined up against Seamus Coleman or whoever's playing Mikalenko instead of going up against Branthwaite and Tarkowski. It feels like the crosses have to come into the box more frequently tonight. Because I expect Everton... Not that I expect Everton to sit as low as West Ham did. But I don't know why they would approach it any differently. Let me see what you're saying down there. Yeah, Rich, it'll be nice. It's always nice to score early in a game. Every single game. There's certain games where it makes a bigger difference. I don't think scoring early will make a huge amount of difference to the game tonight, but I think conceding early would. So if I'm going to say my approach, first 15 minutes, kind of play like we did against Arsenal. Don't be like mega passive, but just make sure the box is defended well. Because as soon as that 15 minutes goes past, any sort of excitement and belief in the crowd is going to go, it's going to get muted a little bit. By the way, this is an Everton team that just lost against Bournemouth last game. They might be 8th, but they haven't won at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Awful stadium name. Since the 6th of December. So they're all going to be nervous. Don't give them a goal in the first 15 minutes because you will G that crowd up. Conceding in the first 15 minutes is a terrible idea tonight, and it's far more important to not concede early than it is to score early tonight. That's what I think. Duncan, you're saying prefer that we didn't promote JJ next season. Still a child both physically and mentally and doesn't need the massive pressure yet. 2 years to go at least. Duncan, truth be told, there's no chance that United can keep JJ Gabriel happy if we tell him there's 2 years until you get towards that first team. He won't believe that. His dad won't believe that. And he'll just probably move elsewhere to try and get those opportunities sooner. And that's the difficulty. That's the difficulty with balancing these sorts of things. Let me see what you're saying down here. Hector, you want Forest to go down? Wouldn't mind Forest to go down, but I'm choosing Spurs. Grealish is out and Giles off form. Dewsbury Hall is just coming back. We're getting a demonic low block. Neo, you're saying, I don't think they will start Šeško, but bring him on as soon as Everton sit into a low block. I don't think... I just don't see how. Of course you can. I just don't see why you wouldn't start Šeško tonight. The question I'll ask you, which I think is a harder question, what do you think United's front three should actually be tonight to start with? Because this is where you've got actual depth. Don't really... Do I think there's a wrong answer to this? I think I do, because I want Šeško to start, because I want that presence in the box, and I want United to play towards him. But Cunha could start again. I thought Cunha and Mbeumo were equally as ineffective against West Ham, because West Ham played that deep block. There was no space in behind for Mbeumo. Because the middle of the park was so congested, there was no space for Cunha to run with the ball at his feet. So the two greatest strengths of their games, they were taken away by how West Ham played. And again, why wouldn't Everton do the same thing? Why wouldn't they? Ahmad for me is a... do you think I'm wrong in saying this? Do you think Ahmad is like the... not the only undroppable, but is he the first name on the team sheet from an attacking perspective? Or is Mbeumo? Kind of feels like a little mad thing to not say Mbeumo, considering he's our top scorer. But like Ahmad is is such a difference maker. I don't know. It feels like it's either Ahmad or Mbeumo first name on that team sheet. Let me see what you're saying down here for what you think the front three should be. Cunha, Šeško, and Ahmad, says Ukemi. Mbeumo, Šeško, and Cunha, says Mo. Šeško, Mbeumo, and Cunha, says Russ. Cunha, Šeško, and Ahmad. Yeah, some of you are. What would I go for? I'd probably go for Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Šeško. But at the same time, I really didn't like Mbeumo out on the left-hand side against West Ham, because it didn't work for him, because he was trying to cut inside, but it was so congested there. Yeah, look, Akers, you're bang on there. This is the sort of problem that you want to have at a football club. Oh no, how can I fit all of my top-class attackers into my attack? Oh no, I'm going to have to leave one on the bench. Oh no. These are the right sorts of problems. Well, we way too often been talking about the wrong sorts of problems. I personally would start Ahmad and up against Mykolenko. You'd expect him to turn him inside out, really. And at right back as well. Because this is the thing against West Ham. West Ham, you had Diouf on the left and you had Wan-Bissaka on the right, and they were very, very good against us. Do I think that... So, O'Brien got a red card against Bournemouth, so he's not going to start. And Patterson might be coming in. And if it's not Patterson, it's Seamus Coleman, who went off with a hamstring injury against United at Old Trafford after like 4 minutes. I'd probably try and isolate those, if you could. Right, let's listen to what Carrick has had to say ahead of kickoff. Just a little clip from his press conference and then have a little chat about that. Right, this is what he said on Friday.
I think we've got to be a bit balanced, in terms of I spoke about not getting carried away before that game, in terms of winning games, and certainly not getting carried away if it doesn't quite... If we don't come away with the 3 points, I think there's an understanding of games are tough to win in this league, and it's proven, not just for us. So I think a lot of the performance in terms of the control and how we went about the game there was a lot of good things in the game. It probably got open towards the end when we were chasing it a little bit more, but we looked dangerous. So, and scoring a late goals is a big positive. So I think it's an important point for us. Yeah, of course we wanted to win the game, but certainly not thinking that it was all bad or it's a big negative. I think we're pretty balanced going into the game to what we are coming out of it really. And
look, Carrick's trying his best to keep United on a bit of a level playing field, but it's always important, man. Don't let the highs get too high. Look, we're fans. The highs get high. We get buzzing. That's why we love it, I suppose. The lows get low. But keeping United on that even sort of keel the whole way through, that's what he's trying to do. I don't know. Did you hear or see too much negativity after the West Ham game? I suppose there was a fair amount in the idea that United really struggled again against a low block, and it was sort of a repeating story of stuff we've seen before. And like, okay, right, so there is no solution yet to that low block. So there was a bit of frustration in that, but I don't think it went past frustration. I don't think there was any United fan really coming off Carrick's first 5 games with 4 wins and a draw having any sort of mad negative vibes. I think tonight will be a test. Like, Carrick's right in saying that. Everton are going to be bang up for it. Manchester United, for the first time in the Hill Dickinson Stadium, yeah, they'll want it. They're going to be G'd up from the beginning. So the first 15 minutes, it's just, don't let it happen. It's Monday night. Everyone's going to be watching. We've had to wait 13 days. Just try and control the game of football. Like we did. You could say that we didn't control the game of football against Arsenal in the first 20. But I don't think they really had a massively I don't think they really threatened us from open play at all. And we'd stopped City and Arsenal, the 2 best teams in the league, from creating chances against us in open play. Why can't we do that to Everton in the first 15 and then come out? That's what I think so anyway. Let me see what you're saying down here. Play Ahmad at right back. Well, I don't want to hear that again. I actually still think that Ahmad at right wing back wasn't a terrible position for him, because he ended up playing as a right winger anyway. Mr. Smith, you're saying, is there any chance we can see Ahmad and Mbeumo and Šeško and Cunha play? Kind of like the Amram squad, just not playing with 3 at the back. The only way you do that is if you put Bruno in a deeper position, which I don't think there's any of us that want to do that. That will be kind of shoehorning in too many great players because they are great players. Like putting Ahmad on the right and Mbeumo on the left and Šeško up front and Cunha in the number 10 and then Bruno in as one of the 2 central midfielders. Like, it's a sort of formation you play on FIFA when you're chasing the game. And maybe it's the sort of thing that United could do in the last 10, 15 minutes if we are chasing a game, because Carrick has done that. Carrick has like pulled Dalot off and put Xerxes on and switched to 3 at the back and been a bit more aggressive if you need to. But I wouldn't say that's a way to approach this game. One of Cunha, in my opinion, one of Cunha or Mbeumo is going to start on the bench tonight. And I think I'd put Cunha on the bench. But it's a good problem to have. Yeah, Toby, I agree with you on that one. Saying like Cunha has proved that he can deliver off the bench, and so has Šeško. But this is definitely a game for me where we need to see Šeško start. I don't think it's going to be it might be a game, by the way. We see Mason Mount back in the team, but like, with respect to Mason Mount, I just don't get excited about the idea anymore of Mount being in the team. It feels like Mount's greatest strengths so far in a United shirt have come when he's been that high-pressing inside forward. Scored some cracking goals as well. But now I'd rather see Cunha play ahead of him in that position. I'd also rather see Mbeumo play ahead of him in that position. And if you want to have a conversation, you'd probably put Ahmad ahead of him in that position. He's not going to play ahead of Bruno in the number 10 role. I don't know. I feel sorry for him. But look, maybe if we were going to play an aggressive high press That's where Mason Mount's strengths really do come in. I don't think we need to do. I don't think we should do that against Everton. Certainly not in the first 15. But Mason Mount might be back in the squad tonight, so it's one to keep an eye on. Quite a few of you keep asking about. I don't really know. Ugh. I don't really know why lots of you keep asking about Dorgu, but this is just Dorgu training. He's doing his best to get fit again. And that's it. Like, there's not really going to be much of an update on Dorgu for at least another probably 8 weeks. I would be surprised if we see Dorgu back in the team playing at the level that we saw against Arsenal. I don't think we'll see that this season. Not with the level of injury he got, how long he's going to be out for, and how long it's going to, even when he's fit again, to get back to that match sharpness is going to take a while. Yeah. Anyway, Mason Mount, he could be back in the squad tonight. I don't think there's going to be anything about De Ligt. Right? Somebody who I definitely think will be starting tonight. Happy birthday to Casemiro, 34. Great age. Great age. This might come as sort of a... I think one of the least... not particularly too surprising. Could be seeing Casemiro playing in the MLS. Could be seeing him play for Inter Miami. I think his family went on there. He did. He went on holiday to Miami. Must be a cool way to retire if you can, man. If you want to. Go play with Messi. Go play under Beckham. Well, Beckham's ownership. Didn't Inter Miami just win a cup in the MLS as well? So maybe he doesn't retire, even if he wins a World Cup with Brazil. But Casemiro tonight. Not that Casemiro was looking leggy, because I don't think he was, actually. But this 2 weeks off should make Casemiro just that little bit sharper. I think if anyone in this team is going to benefit from a break in that sense, it should be Casemiro. So fingers crossed he comes back tonight and has an absolute masterclass. Him and Cobby in the middle of the park have been playing really well together. Who is it tonight? Is it, I think it's Gay and Garner. I think that's going to be the starting midfield partnership for Everton. So it won't be the easiest of games. But I'll be backing those two to play well. Let me see what the poll's saying now. 83%. We've got 900 votes are in. Jeez. Yeah, and don't tell me about that. Sickening. The bloody gap that we've got coming up between games. I've got to make sure that I've got some cracking ideas for videos and stuff that I want to produce in that 22-day gap. I don't even think United are actually going to do a mid-season friendly. I was pretty convinced they were going to do it, but they're not. But yeah, the bookies have got United down as favourites tonight. I think United are favourites tonight. This season has just been properly bonkers, isn't it? It won't go down as one of the great Premier League seasons in any way, shape or form. But the swings that are happening every single game. Dean, you're saying massive game, it's a must win. I mean, how many times have we said that, eh? What's changed under Carrick in these last 5 games is we've actually taken advantage of opportunities, which is why we've closed this gap up to this point. Win tonight and we're 3 points behind Villa. I swear if I went back... Let's have a quick look at this, actually. I'm curious. I think you can go to the table and look after a certain game week, can't you? All match weeks. There you go. So what is it? It's match week 28 now, right? So if I go back 5, that should be when Carrick first came in, I think. Is that right? No. That's the wrong one. Oh, no. Go back to, was it match week 19? Is that right? 6 points. Am I doing this wrong? Oh, no, not 6 points, but down there. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, mate. Oh, it's still got the form down there. That's stupid. How many games ago do you want to go? You want to go... That's 7 games back. So I want to go match week 21. That should be it there. Yeah, so this is when he came in. We were 11 points behind Villa. Am I right? Can you see that? Sorry, I didn't realise you couldn't see. So 21, match week 21, and we're now, played 21 games, and we've now played 26 games. So this was 5 games ago, right? 5 games ago, we were 11 points behind third and 11 points behind Villa. We were 3 points behind Liverpool in fourth. We were 1 point ahead of Chelsea, so that's pretty much stayed the same. But I'll repeat that, we were 11 points behind third when he came in. To now, if we win tonight, we go 3 points behind third. That is a shift and a half. It's been a really strong start. I'm worried about tonight, but I'll be worried. I don't think there's going to be a game that goes between now and the end of the season where I don't go in a bit nervous. But we've been delivering. I really hope that the game doesn't play out like it did against West Ham. The first half, like from a tempo perspective as well. That first half against West Ham was so cautious. It's probably what I'm going to call it. It was control with zero threat. Kind of felt a little bit like Louis van Gaal. Like, just have the ball, but what are you going to do with it? Or just pass it backwards again? Boring. I want United to get some more shots off early. Test Pickford. I want United to get some crosses in. Early crosses. Whip some in. Šeško, maybe on the front man. Or get Šeško towards the back post. Or Cunha towards the back post if he starts. Don't know. But I want Šeško to start. I want United to play with a bit more pace and zip in the ball. Don't let Everton just get comfortable. And do not concede in the first 15 minutes. That's the worst thing we can do. Dad's saying Everton will give us chances. They're going to make it difficult, man. They were very good defensively against us at Old Trafford, to their credit, with 10 men as well. So you should expect the same sort of thing can happen tonight. But just don't let them settle. My prediction's 2-1. From the poll down there, the majority of you think United are going to win. I'll tell you what's going out today. We've got a busy day here at United People's TV Towers. Lunchtime video, I'm going to do something on the top 4. All right? Just want to have a conversation about it ahead of the game. Tonight, I'm going to be doing my match day live show. We started a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to do it every single game for the rest of the season. So kickoff is at 8, which means team news, I think, is out at 10 to 7. No, quarter to 7. Which means we'll probably be live at 6:30. We'll go live right up until 15 minutes before kickoff, and we can have a full conversation. We'll run through the team news, and we'll enjoy ourselves. All right? So please do tune in for that. Check out the lunchtime video. And I'll be here tonight. And I'll be here with the match reaction after. And hopefully tomorrow morning, when we join in with the live show, we can be celebrating another 3 points. Because, yes, please. Someone down there saying, I keep thinking that Ronaldo shirt says Aquilano. Mate, some of those names on there, I can't tell you how annoying some of them were. Cantona, lovely, easy, straight name. Carrick, just sometimes there's loads of curvature on the name. Fernandez, bloody hell, can't get the B in there. Anyway, big up to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out the lunchtime video. And I'll be here with the match day build-up and the match reaction later. Come on, United. Such an opportunity again tonight. Take it easy, everyone.